pocket. That kind of makes quite a flexible lineup, doesn't it? But there we go. Dart being shot out immediately. So the early round information game that they were trying to play has kind of been shut down for now. And wow, both these teams really already from the get-go having their number of rotations coming through on both sides. The util being dumped to prevent that collapse into that site. And again, I expected it to be like this, but not from the get-go. Look at how paced and timed this is on both sides. Gorgeous stuff.
Really, really strong rotation thus far. And what I quite like from XERXIA is they're not shy to keep pushing. They're not shy to re-aggress. So they are still able to garner quite a bit of info here. But that turret is going to alert Bleed to the fact that there are players flanking. This is going to accelerate their push to this site. And this A site, as it's besieged, the location is going to be known by a lot of these defenders. XERXIA playing the retake, though. And with that, it's going to be a 5-on-5 retake, Grace, now.
I did say it was going to be a scorcher, but I didn't think it was going to be this much of a scorcher from the get-go. Look at this, they're trying desperately to make their way through these choke points. A few little pre-fires here and there. There we go, Flukky taking down Deryeon, but JayH and Juicy coming through with picks of their own. sScary and cigaretteS taking down Juicy and JayH. And there we go, beautiful shot there. Ultimately traded out by sScary, though, but Retla is ready and waiting with the refrag of their own. And now we're in a 1 versus 1 post plan. Do they try and stick this spike? It's a little bit of a bait with the pistol, but for now, I'm pretty sure that Retla feels pretty safe, or maybe not as much now. There we go! cigaretteS, beautiful clutch there. Doesn't actually have the time! Goodness me. Goodness me. A barn burner. A certified barn burner.
Yep, a certified barn burner with XERXIA once again going aggressive. I really liked this. It's making sure that Bleed aren't given too much space to breathe, and it's sort of forcing Bleed into executions, which is where you're able to make mistakes. As demonstrated, Surf clean opening. crazyguy is going to fall. The Vietnamese import to Bleed is going to be plucked from our attacker's grasps now. However, I don't think the weapon's in a position to be retrieved. You see Retla sort of covering that. So XERXIA won't get a firepower upgrade, but with the man advantage, that may be all that's required.
100%. Again, we're in a little bit of a quiet before the storm moment. Both teams trying to work out what the play is right now. For now, at least, XERXIA have decided to fall back a bit. They're still allowing for some presence on A, just in case the rotation comes through. But it looks like it might be a little bit of a push now to get that mid control, but the flank is coming through from C, and this is what I love. I love the constant flanking and rotations that we're already seeing from both these sides. This is good classic Valorant, and it's what I like to see. Deryeon, beautiful shot there. sScary taken down, but Flukky is there with the refrac, and goodness me, things are about to get hot very, very quickly. They make their way slowly but surely towards that A site, but look, ready and waiting for them in heaven. It is Surf, and they certainly want to be causing a little bit of a kerfuffle, but no, JayH's actually able to shut it down, and that spike can be plonked down on A.
They certainly run it down to the last couple of seconds, but for Bleed now into the afterplant. 3 versus 3. XERXIA with a retrieved Guardian on cigaretteS means they certainly have firepower here. So it looks like the Breach is going to spot out the rotation of Retla. So now XERXIA know that Bleed are playing from sight. This is when the acceleration comes from short. All of them looking to dive onto Retla. He does have a Swarm Grenade to assist in this attack, but no, he swings dry. He's punished for it by cigaretteS now, down to the 2 versus 3. And once again, these members of Bleed, they're having to play from sight. Luckily, though, really, really masterful way to open up Haven here. However, Bleed, they have responded admirably thus far. Let's see how they do against the full buy with cigaretteS forced back on long. Is going to deploy the odd Prowler to get engagement as to how close these Bleed members are. But my worry for Lead at the moment is with no lurker in position, this has given XERXIA the freedom to push up C-Long and try and take that additional control.
No, and that's 100% it, isn't it? Because only cigaretteS is really well. Now they certainly know the rotation is coming back, but look how much site control they now have. Juicy making their way all the way into hell as Deryeon takes down 6. And beautiful shots coming through. Juicy with another. Surf trades it back, but Juicy is just too good right now, landing that shot onto Surf. And once again, the spike is down, and it's a bit of an uncomfortable retake, a 4 versus 2, but never say never. These are 2 of the best teams in this region, and if anyone's going to do it, it's certainly going to be them. Flukky. A little bit of a roam, trying to find out where these players may be lurking. Not sure if they're aware. Yes, they are. Retla falling down. Can sScary get another? No, they can't. Jay there. Beautiful shot. They know where Flukky is. They can start sending out that util, and there we go. The crossfires.
Over on XERXIA, they're sort of 2 away from almost everything. So we may see a big fight for orb control here. And actually, you see the push here from the Fade and the Jet on A long. That's probably going to try and take a bid to try and get this Nightfall up online. Elsewhere, though, the breach at the back of B's site may be under pressure, or this could be Bleed faking that pressure.
Taking it indeed. I mean, for now, a little bit of a ruckus around Garage. There we go, Jay with the opening engagement. They're very much on fire this game. The refrag not coming through just yet. It's something we've seen both sides do. I mean, there we go. There's refrags for you. sScary with a 2K before being shut down by Deryeon. And again, a lot of interesting moments here. Interesting moments indeed. A 2 versus 2 post plan. Look how close it is again. Retla though, not wanting it to remain too close. Beautiful shot there onto Cigarette, but they can safely assume where Surf is going to come from, and there we go.
To accompany that, over on XERXIA, we have the Tour de Force alongside the From the Shadows, which may enable some fast rotations for the members of Bleed. But for Juicy, it's a quick swing. Damage to Surf, but it's not enough to kill. The Operator reveals with a trade onto the Jet. Some say jet diff, some say weapon diff, and some say that sScary is going to have to defend this B site now, almost solo. Swings out, spotted out by Deryeon, punished for swinging dry. And with that now, the Cosmic Divide is going to be deployed, guaranteeing a plant. The chamber now in Garage is the win condition for XERXIA. Swings out, spotted out by Retla, punished by Retla. And for cigaretteS and Surf here, saving becomes a very real possibility. With the loss of the Operator though, cigaretteS is going to try and at least do some damage, but damage to what avail?
Rightfully so, stacked up together, making sure they could duo play it. Not being baited into those engagements. Nice early intel coming through just to make sure that A-Long is clear. I mean, well, certainly it's going to be clear now for the side of XERXIA. That beautiful shot there coming through from Flukky.
Juicy's not had the best of luck against sniper rifles thus far. Last 2 rounds falling to them. Tour de Force brought out from Flukky. This is alongside the Blaze Storm from Surf. So we are seeing relatively heavy ult commitment from XERXIA. This is accompanied by what is going to be a myriad of players pushing through A long here. JayH may have an inkling as to this position, but Flukky, he's just quicker. Shuts down the first player. Now crazyguy on the flank from short becomes that win condition for Bleed. Gonna be trying to take that duel with the Jet. Blade Storm spotted. Surf goes for the high ground. Does a little bit of damage, but with only 1 blade left, can he deliver that killing blow? Crazyguy gets the recon dart out, but Surf, oh, he gets tickled by that ping. Has to back out now. But Crazyguy's position known means they're trying to fight cigaretteS is going to be a nightmare. Spots him out. Gets the kill regardless, though. Now he has Flukky to worry about. Flukky, his third of the round, finishes the job. But this was all a fake. It's for all the time needed for Bleed to get up through Garage now into sScary. The same position he got a 2K with that stinger from before. Can he do it again? No, he can't. Retla finishes the job. That'll be the plant. And now, let's see what Bleed can do in a 3 versus 2 after plant scenario. Yes, there's a lockdown, but what good will it do? Especially with the flank coming from Flukky. There's 4 on 4, the ace.
The ace indeed. That's really unfortunate. Again, the plan had to be changed, but Deryeon gets 1. Can they bait the rest of these engagements? No, they can't. Flukky has been absolutely on fire this round, and certainly so. That was an ace on the board for them. Cause a little bit of a ruckus as well, so lots of util on the table, and sScary again overextending, trying to get a bit bolshy with it, and it looks like they might be hyper-focusing onto that C shot site right now. We're already seeing a lot of breathing room try to be opened up here when it comes to a crazyguy and that ult, but all seems to be for nothing. Again, they've gone very passive and quiet again. I would have thought the immediate collapse would have come through.
sScary's used both his teleports there. That was pure panic after being pinged, and he's hardly tagged. In fact, no, he's not tagged at all. So really nice movement from him actually to avoid the damage from the Tour de Force. Topic of damage, crazyguy legged to start.
This is it. It was like they had the immediate collapse, decided against it, even though the util was coming out on both sides. I think even, yeah, sScary probably thought, you know, they're actually going to pressure me really badly. This is a full aggressive collapse, but it just didn't come through. Looks like they're going to try and recommit to it, hovering around that Garage area. Again, the opening engagement really needs to come through now. Someone needs to start attempting that opening pick. I mean, that's certainly an attempt and a half. The lockdown coming through, and that's going to hopefully open up a little bit of breathing room here for the attackers to get stuck in. They need to go for the fast and furious collapse very, very quickly. 20 seconds on the clock, and it looks like Juicy is about to try and lead the way here, but Scary ready and waiting with the tiniest of pixel peek through the snow. Gets one onto Deryeon. That's a very good start from the Omen player, and there we go, shut down by Retla after taking out Juicy as well.
It's a beautiful delay game coming out from the members of XERXIA here, and they win on time. They win by a time, a cruel mistress, and so in instantly destroying it, Bleed hesitate. Then that one-way smoke on Garage means they hesitate further. Then they smoke themselves out, but you've lost someone through the smoke. There's another little bit of hesitation. Yes, JayH does a good job swinging back sight, killing 2 players, but at that point, it may not matter too much. Surf shuts down crazyguy. Once again, the opening for XERXIA now as they really start finding their momentum.
100%. And speaking of momentum, Rolling Thunder in pocket certainly going to help the side of XERXIA here. Surf feeling a little bit bolshy with it, going for an overextension here, but can they get this shot off? So no one's contesting it just yet. Might be a little bit of a ring around the rosy situation around a long, but again, quiet before the storm. We've seen a lot of this weekend. Every single team in this tournament thus far has known exactly how to play this initial time. And well, the shot goes down, but it misses, so the smoke's going to come out. And this is exactly what I was talking about before, Kremer. You go for that overextension, but then you pull back. That's the safer way to play it.
There's that jump through, and Juicy's good for the first. Retla chimes in for the second. A beautiful capitalization from the Rolling Thunder. Yes, XERXIA have players in heaven. And yes, Bleed's rotation with the spike isn't too quick here. A Rolling Thunder could allude to a victory on time here. They probably will be committed once we see the spike get tapped. With the Horn going out first, there's the aftershock. Not quite able to get the first, and Deryeon swings wide. Able to finish the job. CigaretteS now has to do a great job at distracting his opposition. He does just that now. Down to the 2 versus 2. A collapse from heaven. JayH good for the first. It's a pistol for CigaretteS, but for JayH...
Ultimately, if you are landing your shots, that kind of overrules everything, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And now as you look at the... as you look at sort of how Bleed have poised themselves, they realize that the buy from XERXIA isn't great, and they're absolutely right. They've only got Rolling Thunder, so no eco ults to help them, and it's sort of shorties, it's sheriffs, it's a marshal. It's still done a great deal of damage to Juicy, which means trying to entry as this guy, or as this jet, sorry, may be damn difficult. The Surf finished off by crazyguy, and luckily for Bleed, because you have so much damn firepower on this team, where the jet fails, everyone else can rise to the occasion. And you look at XERXIA now, once again, their pistol round aggression is really strong. And we're seeing that now as they look to shift through short now into sewers. But Retla seems ready.
Ready and waiting. I'm wondering if they have to try and go for a little bit of a bait just to bait this overextension even more. Flukky, very aware of the fact that they want to be able to potentially overextend a little bit here and get back to safety nice and quickly, but Juicy ready for the entry, and there we go. The pressure's certainly on site now, but Flukky is there with the trade back. Can they get a second? No, they can't, because Deryeon ready and waiting, and that spike is gonna go down. And this retake from Sewers come through. No, it can't. Retla with the beautiful shot there onto CigaretteS, and it's all left down to Scary, who is miles away at this point. They have to go for the long extension, and ready and waiting will be Retla, and this could be a little bit spicy, because a shotty does indeed come out, Kremer, and could be a little bit of a nasty one. Do you just kind of try and save at this point? It looks like it's a bit of a save, waiting for them to push and overextend towards you. That's why the shotty is out. Neither player
like
really wanting to take
plan.
that. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's a
enough,
passive exit.
Because of how forwarded Retla is, he can't extend because of the turrets and the alarm bot.
Scary, able to hear the footsies of the players. Can they get this one exit? No, about those opening engagements trying to go in your favor. Yes, maybe they trade, but as long as that opening pick goes in your pocket, it can often be translated to a win. And speaking of wins, that gunfight's going to be won out by Flukky with the op, and Retla falling down, and again, Juicy again on the roam, on the hunt, trying to find these opening engagements. The Cosmic Divide as well, going to allow for a little bit of that cut off of that line of sight, and that's a beautiful and easy collapse into that C site.
crazyguy, the next point of contact, spots out Surf. It's an instant execution now. Is he anticipating sScary to be as close as he is? Potentially not. And so if XERXIA can equalize the man count, that may kickstart the aggression onto this site. From the flank, sScary reveals himself, tanks crazyguy, but he can't quite kill him. There's the bait and switch. Deryeon gets the kill. It's an absolutely beautiful start now. And for Flukky back site, he's only got 25 HP. That's not what you want when in an afterplant, but it's the aggression of the breach. Good for JayH, has the Rolling Thunder. Oh, that Rolling Thunder's perfect, especially with the player falling now from the flank. And with that, Flukky, good for another, but timing may be everything. Shot dart deployed, it's in the perfect position. Crazyguy gets the killing blow, and Flukky. And I think Bleed kind of know this now. On topic of ult management, they're about to get the Hunter Trio available for crazyguy, but you may not need it if Juicy's just going to maraud his way down A long, getting a kill on anything that moves. Another weak fire from XERXIA. Retla's going to try and punish it now. Spots out one, spots out two. This man is unstoppable, Grace, and he even knows about the lurking omen. Does he anticipate the swing from the breach, though? Timing, oh, it doesn't quite favor him, though. That'll be a Vandal removed from the rounds, but here's the thing, Grace. You know, one player in exchange for a free site, really will take that trade any day.
100%. Now they're in a 3 versus 2 post. I don't think they have the numbers. But we definitely do now because sScary is going to be taken out on that rotation. And again, poor suicirtaP, they're just waiting. They're just waiting to see if anyone's going to overextend them. But it's not quite coming through. Again, how do you play this realistically? Do you want to go and be aggressive? Do you want to go and take these gunfights? Look like they're actually going to try it, but there we go. Jay ready and waiting.
And for Bleed, right now, JayH, he's playing out of his mind. This is alongside Juicy, who's also playing out of his mind. The two imports for Bleed are really delivering right now. The same to be said for crazyguy. Over on XERXIA, it's been a slower start, but we have seen sort of some flashes of hope in these retakes.
100% flashes of hope is certainly what XERXIA need right now. They are 9-2 down, and they can't let this really go to 10-2 because that pressure is going to be phenomenal on that initial pistol round from their own attack. But there we go, Juicy with the opening engagement as per usual. sScary falling down. The ulti is going to start to come through from crazyguy, but they're actually shut down by Flukky and Surf, who also takes down Juicy. That's a nice little attempt at a retake, and this is where the attack have to get a bit more passive. Start to use some util, especially when you got Flukky. Like that, the trade comes through by Jay, but there we go, Jay immediately taken out. It's all left down to Retla. They do get one there, but can they stop this defuse? I don't think they can, Kremer, and there we go. A lot easier for the defense. Do you know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely. And I think Retla is going to have to use all of this, or at least the majority of his utility, as afterplant utility. Or using it in a retake is going to become very damn difficult. For XERXIA, though, getting ready to hit this B site. Alarm bot is in position, at least as an early warning system. Remember, without the chamber, that killjoy utility has to be used very, very wisely here. There goes that alarm bot, and with that, it's going to be a free B site. Much like our first round, Grace. It's going to be another 5-on-5 retake with Juicy up close and personal in the smoke, looking for an opening.
For sure. Look at this, a little pre-fires through the smoke in an attempt to find a head. I mean, there's a head for Flukky, taking out Juicy, but Retla is there to trade it back. Flukky with a second there onto Retla as well, and both sides really going neck and neck with this kill game, but ultimately...
And for Bleeding Out, they've dropped down to the eco. XERXIA, out come the Spectres, out comes the Vandal, and surprisingly, it's a fairly, I don't want to say greedy, but it's a bold second round buy, with only a Ghost on sScary and Flukky. Trying to fight at range, especially if you lose this Vandal, may be very damn difficult. Or at least unpredictable.
Definitely, a spike once again is plunked down upon that site, so retake coming through. It's a nice little trio push and glorious stuff there. The double pick there, Jay ultimately landing that shot in the end, but CigaretteS looking for where these trades might come from. Actually gets one on crazyguy, Juicy falls too, but Deryeon taking down XERXIA. sScary with the 2k as well. I mean, once again, full domination when it comes to these trades from the side of XERXIA. Can Jay do anything? No, it's coming down to the way that they're playing, because they are doing trio pushing, which is exactly what they should be doing on both sides, but just the angles that are being held are so much stronger on the side of XERXIA right now.
You're absolutely right. And now for JayH as well, it's a very info-oriented hold on B here for Bleed. XERXIA on the flip side, they sort of left the breach and back a B site. It meant that they still had some utility to drop, even as the execution was coming. Everything from Bleed now towards the center of the map is all reactionary, and it's a much more passive stance compared to XERXIA when they were on their defense. With that, XERXIA, they dive, they delve straight onto this B site, plant goes down, and it's so quick, we're going straight into another 5-on-5 retake. The only difference now is that there's a Rolling Thunder available for this breach.
100%. Very good. Crazyguy with a 2k, and we need this utility to come from the defense thick and fast because they really need to retake this site. Beautiful shot there by cigaretteS, taking down Deryeon. And can Retla do anything about it? No, they can't. The cleanup there, a 3 versus 3. This is going to get a little bit intense now for the defense. Do you try and stick that defuse? It looks like that is indeed what they're going to try and do, but there we go for Util, forcing them off that defuse ultimately. Juicy with the pick there onto cigarette's bow, and this is what we talk about when it comes to that post plant, the lines of sight and that Util, and you might see it used again. Crazyguy though goes a little bit large, taking down XERXIA. Can we talk about how huge that he was in that round?
Now they have to drop it down to pistols once again.
And this is it. This is where the pressure really starts to get applied. Your eco's a little bit in shambles, and you really have to try and rely on your utility. Again, looking at what we've seen on the board right now, we do have the Cosmic Divide that could potentially come through at some point,
right
but
there.
not just yet.
There's also the Hunter's Fury available for Crazyguy, and I think something there I doubt we'll see it this round. It's probably something to try and use to garner a man advantage going into the next bye round. Time being though, Prowler's up close. Oh, that final little slither of it catches out Juicy. That's got to sting.
No charges left.
This is it. It's again the idea. You've got very little ults there. You've got very little gunpowder behind you. This is where the shots really need to count, and they need to be playing a little bit close together. But it's so difficult on a map like this. I think they are aware, though, of the pressure starting to come down along, though. sScary leading the way a little bit. Surf in full conga line formation as well, though. This is what I'm talking about those duo plays. sScary ultimately winning that. Retla trading it out, but Surf ready and waiting the trade by trade by trade as JayH gets the pick there onto Surf. JayH falling in retaliation. This is what I mean. The trade, it's like the stock market right now. A little bit of shock darts coming out, but cigaretteS is going to get that pick onto Crazyguy, knocking him out of heaven down to Deryeon here. They can vaguely kind of try and guess.
I don't like how Crazyguy committed the Hunter's Fury there. I think that was a bit of an overcommitment. Elsewhere, though, we are going to have Juicy aggressive with the operator. We do have the Omen disappearing into heaven. That's going to be able to catch out Juicy on the flank. Oh, it doesn't. It's a really well-placed smoke. Then JayH comes to the rescue. As Juicy tries to get away, he's eventually finished off, but the Rolling Thunder now comes into effect, and it's a beautiful Rolling Thunder at that. JayH able to double down now on for his third. This is assisted by a Crazyguy who finishes off cigaretteS. Retla comes in. JayH hits that
really strong backbone that's going to support you for the rest of the round. Obviously not been going too great. XERXIA just absolutely on fire, especially when it comes to the team play right now. But the Blade Storm is going to start to come through from Surf, and they're ready and waiting for Deryeon to make their swing, make their pick out. The smoke goes down. sScary gets a pick there onto Juicy, and it's going to get a little bit hot and heavy in this garage area. The trades yet again coming through. Flukky with 2 now. Retla and JayH are both falling down, and Crazyguy kind of in no man's land a little bit. That site is fully for the taking now, and that plant can go down. How do you retake in a 1 versus 4 when you have very limited util in pocket and sScary sliding up behind you? I mean, this could be a little bit of a nasty flank. And there we go. sScary has actually spotted him out, and there we go.
Available, but up against the tour de force of Flukky's back pocket. Let's be honest, Grace. We've seen what he can do with a tour de force. I can't help but worry a little bit here for Bleed.
No, 100%. Flukky there. Beautiful shot down to Deryeon, though. Again, this trade needs to come in. This is the issue with Bleed right now. They're not getting these trade-offs. I mean, that's a little bit of a slow burn there. But JayH with the 2, actually. Surf and cigaretteS both falling. And there we go. Juicy has something to say too. XERXIA falling down. This is looking so much better for Bleed right now. All they have to do is hold their positions for now. And let XERXIA try and work out where they're going to go. Juicy's ready and waiting for Flukky. There we go. And he knows now that Spike is down. They know that they have all the control in the world.
Trust him with the tour de force. He's going to go kill everyone. It's like laying out a serial killer. As out comes that tour de force. The Frenchman wants to play. And for now, it'll be, once again, this sort of unguarded B site. We're starting to see Bleed start taking the leaves out of XERXIA's book, which is to try and compartmentalize the map, start being a little bit more aggressive on the positions which aren't necessarily always guarded. So what avail Flukky? He's just so good with that sniper.
This is it. The plan is going down. Surf actually getting taken out by crazyguy. Nice shot there, but sScary with the 2K there, extending further and further towards the back of this map. And again, a very powerful and aggressive position to hold. And there's no trades ultimately coming out from that. Retla, can they use the ultimate? Probably wants to keep it in pocket, but desperate times can occasionally call for desperate measures. CigaretteS very aware that flanks may be coming through, and Retla very aware that sScary is lurking in the midst, taking them out there. No trade just yet. Again, yes, you can whittle down into these ones, but the timer is ticking, and ultimately they just have to give up that site, and that is unfortunate, Kremer.
It is unfortunate, and will separate Bleed from a victory. It's all to play for now as we go into round 21. A full buy on both teams, no operators in sight, but there are ults, and there are many ults available for both teams. 3 ults apiece, retake utility in the dozen now. And for XERXIA, they've set their gaze, their cruel, benign glaze, over to A.
This is a really lovely thing I like about people bringing intel agents when it comes to this map. It's to really allow yourself that early round information, but I don't think he got the info entirely needed. He didn't quite see that they were indeed coming from A long, and now they're going for that full collapse. The spike is going down, and this flustered rotation has to start coming through from Bleed. But again, util in pocket. They do have a lot of ultimates on the board. Will this be the chance to use any of them? Surf ready and waiting for this approach from the back now. Pressure in hell as well, and also Heaven as the defender killjoy. There we go. That's the lockdown coming through. Juicy taking out Surf. They really need to push away these attackers. They need to stop this aggression to Heaven, and that's what I'm talking about. Juicy and Jay absolutely on fire. Yet again, another one for Jay, and that defuse can be committed to. Beautiful stuff there by the side of Bleed.
I really like that position. Bait out both the From the Shadows from sScary, which doesn't even get to be converted, and the Nightfall, which is better still. Bleed now on the precipice of closing out the first best of one of this group stage, and with a push through C long, assisted by the covering fire of the Jet, they're going to really try and start getting behind the enemy lines of XERXIA here. Fortunately, the trademark is going to delay that plan, but it won't stop it, though, as they smoke off that trademark. And now Surf is in trouble.
Huge! Massive entry kill there. Deryeon taking out Surf, so that is a very aggressive duelist being taken clean off the board. But we speak of aggression, certainly Flukky up in hand, looking for the heads of the defenders, hoping to cause a ruckus. But crazyguy with this util ready to get their number. There we go. The pings come through. They know exactly where they are, and these swings can start to come out. No immediate engagement. The overshock starts coming out as well as the rolling thunder does too. Juicy though with the blade storm. This is what we like to see. Flukky, beautiful shot there with the op. Retla trading it immediately back onto CigaretteS, and it's a little bit of a scrappy one here on both sides. Gorgeous shot there by Flukky is on fire. A 3K there. Can they manage to clutch this out? No, they can't, but goodness me, wasn't that a good try?
That was a bloody good try.